The reason I ran for Solicitor General was because I was a criminal defense attorney who had been a prosecutor, and as a prosecutor for Fulton County, I was used to pretrial intervention programs. When I went to Clayton County and started my private practice, the then solicitor did not believe in pretrial. We've had forums, and he talked about, I don't believe in it. Since then, he's retracted that. But I started that program because my young 17, 18-year-old clients smoking marijuana on the steps of their home, in the backyards, were being prosecuted, losing the Hope Scholarship. We're talking about A students. We're talking about Clayton State College students losing Hope Scholarships because a misdemeanor marijuana conviction takes away that scholarship. Not only does it take away that, it took away federal grants. So I couldn't fight him by just going to trial and trying to get not guilties. That was too iffy. The biggest fight was, let me fight him, take that position, and create the pretrial diversion program that they needed in Clayton County. And that's just what I did. And when I won that and won that election, I knew there was one thing for me to do, and that was get that pretrial diversion started before I did anything else. And I mean, I think I was in office 2 weeks before I started working on creating that program. Even though people were like, no, Leslie, you have to, learn to run the office. I had been a prosecutor for 12, 15 years prior to that. I needed to help those individuals. I need to help the individuals who weren't beating their children too. That was the other reason. I mean, they were spanking their children and getting prosecuted, losing 30-year jobs. And I'll mention one individual, if he ever sees this, he knows he was a 20-year veteran at Delta, worked for Delta 20 years. His son was on corners selling drugs. He grabbed him by the neck and pulled him home. We're not talking about beating, we're talking about discipline. We're talking about the same discipline that caused us to be productive citizens. I remember him crying. When I got in office, he cried, he called me, and I don't know how he actually made it through to my line. Usually I have my assistant, and said, I'm going to lose my job of 20 years because I've now been given custody of my children. That defects took the children away from the mother, gave him custody of his 2 boys, and he was going to discipline them. He was going to lose that job if it were not for the pretrial diversion program I started. So I had a parenting facet. Oh, okay, here's how you parent children without beating them. You're allowed corporal punishment, but it was about education. And I said, half of these people have these misdemeanor crimes, and I always say you perish for a lack of knowledge. We teach them, and they become productive or continue to be the productive citizens they were. But that's why I started that program. And since then, and going back to the district attorney's office in DeKalb County, what I saw was a large number of recidivist crimes from mental health. These individuals come in the system, they get medicated while they're in jail, there's no follow-up, they leave jail, I see that same person come back into the system again. And I've been in that office for going on 5 years. So I've seen the same. I said, wait a minute, there needs to be a mental health court. And DeKalb did something to address it. They started a mental health court, and Judge Asha Jackson, she's running that. I said, we need that in Clayton, because we have the same problem. When I was the Solicitor General, I had all the misdemeanor cases that kept running through from the airport, because we covered the airport. So those individuals, they were sleeping at the airport, they were getting arrested for criminal trespass. Nobody addressed the mental health issue. Nobody set up programs, homes, which we were doing in DeKalb County. They actually have social workers working on that. They have inpatient facilities for these individuals. Nothing in Clayton. So that propels me, go back to Clayton, get it started. We need the same thing they have in the other counties. There's no sense in Clayton being behind the 8 ball as it's been for so many years. So I think I'm being pushed back in to start that, and that's what I plan to do. I do what I say, so. Well, thank you.